Good morning, good evening, maybe afternoon out there. I'm gonna just come out and say it. We're gonna have probably a controversial video here. Before you click ahead, you need to hear what I'm actually trying to say before you downvote the video 14 times, which actually makes it 0 times. But you'll figure that one out eventually. Kujou Sara is a mess of a character, in my opinion. I think she's a little bit janky. I think that fits her perfectly, actually. She's just kind of jank to play. Can she do cool stuff? Oh, 100%. Should she be this janky to play, though? In my opinion, for the amount of reward that she gives you? No way, no how, okay? No way, that's my argument. Not that she's bad, that she's just a little bit of a mess, all right? She needs to get that bib on, maybe get cleaned up a little bit. Someone at MIHOYO fix her up, a couple changes. Here's what I would do. That's what we're going to talk about today, guys. As always, if you enjoy this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe for more as well. And if you like this video, like I said, downvote 14 times. Count them out. You'll get there. I believe in you. You can do it. All right, so Kujou Sara, right? Attack buffer, a little bit of damage on the elemental burst. She can hit up pretty high, right? You build her as a DPS character. She can help you do a little bit of damage there. You can buffer up in a couple of ways. But here is some janky parts of her kit that I just literally cannot understand. So the first one here is going to be her ascension talent here. This one right here, I do not know why they made it this way. Now, as someone who's been able to play with an instant charge shot attacker, C6 gone to you, the power and the difference is tiny, but it's 0% jank when it's instacast. It's 0%. I will show you this right now. Let me put her in here. I didn't even think about showing you the difference in how fluid and flexible it is to play this character that way. So let's get C6 Johnny U in here. All right, so here is what an instacast bow shot is like. Ready to go, instantaneous, right? If I want to just boom, popped him, got him. Here is what a 60% one is like. Just that, is it broken to have insta shot? No. Is it fluid? 100%. It's so on the dime. You hit, you point, you shoot. They have the same sort of mechanic. You jump back and you start aiming. Kujou Sara's is like, I can jump back. Ooh, oh, now I can go. It is so small that it should just be insta shot, just because it makes it that much more fluid and fun to play. I'll never understand it. That is step one. The difference between this and that's the wrong character in this, okay? That is step one. Now, step two, there's two more janky things about this character when it comes to using her. She's actually dying right now. How are you on fire? What happened? I'm recording a video, dude. All right, thanks. So here's the other janky part about Kujou Sara. It's a twofold jank meter, all right? It's a twofold jank meter. Jank number one, have you seen Ganyu's backstep fail at all? No. All right, cool. Kujou Sara's, you've seen it a couple times, it fails. I don't know why. She doesn't have a press versus a push. She doesn't have that listed here. Doesn't have it. There's no press, there's no push. Target location, cool, sweet, awesome. Jump back, cool buttons. But sometimes you've seen it before. You just stand still, especially if you're like trying to go up a hill like this. Ganyu though, Ganyu just do it whatever. So that is jank number two. Why is that a thing? Sometimes it's on flat surfaces, right? I held it. So don't leave a comment saying it's a push versus a press. I literally just pushed and held that button down, and I could not backstep far enough. Jankometer 10,000, dude. Was there a beta for this character? I don't understand. Now, here's the other Jankometer. The C2 is a huge Jankometer, all right? When we're talking about Jankometer to the skies, big Jankometer. Constellation 2. Good constellation, by the way, but it's still jank. So when you backstep, you leave a feather, okay? And as you guys know, you need to be in the range of the feather to get the attack buff. So if your backstep actually does work, you come all the way back here, you have to make sure that whatever character you want the attack buff on, which we were in range because we stood still, you have to get in there. So if you're trying to kite somebody, right, because you're a ranged character, you're like, oh man, I'm leaving my feather, I'm gonna move back. Oh, didn't happen, didn't work. So you're a ranged character that needs to be pretty much melee range, right? You're that Ezreal from like Wood 5 who's like point blank shotting, right, with your skill shots out there. That is basically what you're doing right there. Here's the other jank thing. Even if you don't have Constellation 2, say you don't have C2, right? Say that tree's your enemy that you want to buff for. Say I want to buff Raiden Shogun. I'm like right here. Well, I'll backstep, and if it does work, I'd be back here. So then I'd aim shot, and I'd have to sprint up here and try to get in range to get my own attack buff. Who designed this character like that? Why do you backstep so far away from where you like? You're Uno reversing yourself. You're like debating yourself with this character. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Who's trying to attack me right now? Stop. I don't understand. Dude, all of these things, I get so frustrated, man. I get so frustrated because what this does is it makes her janky to play, and it also makes her harder to play. If you're a mobile god out there, do you know how difficult this would be on mobile? I would have a better chance of beating Usain Bolt 4 times in a race while asleep than playing this character on mobile, especially with C2. You're on mobile, you're gonna hit this thing, backstep, it didn't work again, backstep all the way out here, punch this down, swap your characters to get all your characters buffed up, because yeah, that's another thing about this character. Only the active character inside the proc detonation gets the buff. So you're telling me you can do one of these numbers, backstep out, one in, proc it on this guy, walk over here, do your 60%, walk up here, get it on this guy. This frustrates me so much. I'm actually tilted right now and I'm not doing anything. I'm just hanging out. I'm just using this character and I'm getting tilted. All right, I'm getting tilted from this character right now. And it's from a game design perspective that this character infuriates me. Not that she's bad, just that she's jank to play, okay? There's a difference there. I'm gonna say it again. It's not that she's bad, it's that she's jank to play, okay? Do we understand that now? Do you go down there and delete your comment about how I called her bad? If I see one comment down there, it's YouTube. You know, there'll probably be at least 10. But anyway,
There's another thing that is jank about this character. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it?
thing that infuriates me the most. Typically, in game design, the harder the character is to play, right? The more difficult they are. And being jank will make you, by default, more difficult to play because you have to do more inputs. You have to dash back, walk over than you think, charge shot 6%, change to another character, get that attack buff, do all this stuff. That is much more difficult than saying, Benny's adventure time, kapoom! And I don't need her to be as strong as Bennett, right? No one needs to be strong as Bennett. A lot of the 4 stars that came out at the start were a mistake. Bennett, Xingqiu, to name 2 right away. Maybe even Fischl, and definitely Xiangling. But no one needs to be as strong as Benny Boy. But Bennett, what do you have to do? Get 60 energy, pop your little circle of healing and damage down, because they made a constellation that got rid of the default negative thing about his elemental burst, and have a bigger attack buff and a heal at the same time for 12 seconds. Double the duration. It's an elemental burst. I understand that. Now, for this character, you need to jump back into the land beyond, make some dinosaur friends away from your own attack buff, run back up into your attack buff, get in there, get your attack buff for 6 seconds, do a whole bunch of stuff, swap back out into her, do a 60% reduced time charge shot across the map, sprint back over, do a little bit of damage that way, swap back into another character, get another 6% attack buff. Do you see how much more difficult that is? And it's a lesser attack buff. I get that the attack buff moves with you, but the duration on it is so short. It's 6 seconds that if I get a 6-second attack buff, I spend 2 seconds killing some enemy and the other dude is like one of them hilly trail archers or those new test subjects. If they're one of those dudes, you're gonna spend 3 seconds sprinting over to them anyway, so your attack buff is gone. So all of this extra work, all this jank, it's for nothing. Like typically in a fighting game, right? If you're playing that rushdown character, you have more inputs. It's harder for you to engage. You're gonna get rewarded for that gameplay style. If for mastering it, for doing all those extra inputs, for learning how to capitalize on a more complex character. It's like that for every it's game design 101. The more complex your character is, the bigger the reward is, the bigger the payoff is. She's the opposite. Do all this extra stuff, less reward. Awesome. Fantastic. 10 out of 10, MIHOYO. You've done it again. You did it. There's a 10 out of 10, MIHOYO. You knocked it out of the park. Now, there is one little saving grace for her as well. I have been playing her a little bit in multiplayer as well. And the ability to give nearly permanent attack buff is pretty cool, right? Because it affects whoever's in the explosion, right? That's dope, because typically it's going to be everyone in the explosion, unless there's one dude off in the corner doing something by himself. But if there's one dude off in the corner, you got C2, you're with your boys, you blow it up, and then you go, hey, you know what? I got you, Eagle. I see what they're trying to solo that level 1 treasure thing, bobber, across the map. You feel like a god, super awesome. And then you pop your ult. You're like, yeah, this is cool. Dab. And then you pop your elemental skill again, reapply that attack buff. And, you know, Jones is over there still trying to fight that hilly trail. And you're like, again, you're like, oh, yeah. And then you do like 5 damage with your normal attacks afterwards, which is pretty powerful. But yeah, she's much cooler in a multiplayer scenario, but she is so jank to play and just in general. I can't do it. I'm literally, I got to calm myself down. I got so tilted. Steven, help me out here, please, buddy. Those are my thoughts on Kujou Sara, man. Like, this girl, I don't even understand. You know, Steven can't tell. He almost put his shades down. Let me know your experience about Kujou Sara down there as well. If you found it a little bit funny, I actually a little bit mad as well. I'll see you guys on Discord. I'll see you guys on socials, whatever it is. Take care, guys.